coming to you live from Kenny's basement apartment where I fell ill for 2 days with a nasty head cold, and Kenny finally did Okie Mart and Jiffy Mart without having somebody bitching him to do it.
Thank you for sponsoring us on that, yes. All right, welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Sports Allegedly on this 24th day of March.
You never said anything about the shirt.
24. I know. I noticed that. The Wilford Brimley shirt.
I got the sugars.
I got the sugars. Thank you all for joining us for this episode.
It's Diabetes Awareness Month.
Is it?
I have no
It should be
clue.
Diabetes Awareness Month every month. But thanks for joining us for this episode of Sports Allegedly.
Do you even know what episode this is?
No, I don't.
I used to. And then I did the set.
I think it's going to be one of those episodes that we're going to talk about a bunch of
77.
things. We're going to talk about a little bit about TU women's basketball.
Are they still playing?
They are. OSU.
So I couldn't find any.
OSU men's basketball, OU gymnastics, OU softball. But let's just start with what is going on right now. It is the madness time of the year.
There's your list. There's your list. Hold on, let me turn on the...
Now, currently, in our brackets that we filled out, I was last place. I think you've strolled into last place now.
I've strolled back into
out of 13
I do
people.
this year to year. I live in last place in the bracket because I have NC State winning it all.
Yes, if you see that. Sean has NC. Now, I want to talk. We can talk about that because as far as the tournament goes, you see a lot of the top seeds have continued to move on. Surprising, though, and we can talk about NC State if you want to start with that. They've been one of my biggest surprises because I noticed your bracket when you filled it out, I looked at it and I thought, man, he's got NC State winning it all. No way that this team who had to win 5 straight games in a row in the tournament to turn around to get to the tournament. I'm talking about ACC tournament to get to the main tournament.
They beat UNC twice, didn't
they? They started with Louisville. They beat Syracuse. They beat Duke. They beat Virginia. And they beat UNC. That was in the ACC tournament.
Yeah.
That's how they made the tournament. Now, they were 9-11 at the end of the year. They were 9-11 conference play, 24-14. They were the 10th seed in the conference. Last game, regular season, the game was against Pitt. They lost, and Pitt didn't make the tournament, which should have. Former OU Jeff Capel coach. Not a big fan of his coaching, but
Never been a fan of Cable.
But that team should have made
Wasn't
the
even a
tournament.
fan of Cable whenever they...
God, we haven't talked since
they
OU
won it.
got screwed about the tournament. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
But did they get screwed? I mean, they were pretty much beat up.
I mean, talking about them,
there was a lot going on with that.
they needed to win another game or at least win 1 or 2 in the tournament. You know, they were the 69th team to get out.
Right, they were
allegedly.
the very first team to get booted. Now you had I wrote it down, didn't even bring it. You had 21 number 1 seeds lose, and you had 17 number 1 seeds not even make it to their tournament. Not even make it to the final in their tournament.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, a lot of that. And generally that's not
Well,
abnormal.
but that's what keeps knocking teams down is because you have automatic qualifiers for winning your tournament. The team that wins the tournament's automatically
Well, there
qualified.
was some stolen bids or spots, if they want to call it.
Yeah.
Oregon was one. I think NC State was one.
NC State was one.
There was another one I can't remember. While I'm talking about that, pull up the current. I want to talk about the current records for the conference, current conference records. But anyway, let's go back to NC State. So they won all those games, finished 10th spot, and then they turn around. And the funny thing is Kevin Keats, coach of NC State, was on the hot seat, turns around, wins a tournament, and there was a kicker in his contract that give him a 2-year extension automatically if he won the ACC tournament. So that kicked him 2 years up on his current contract. I don't know how many years was left, but it automatically added 2 years. So I don't know if he legitimately was going to be fired, but there was some talk that he had underperformed. But I loved it. Kind of like Dan Monsoon from Long Beach State. Monsoon. Yeah, that was it Munson? Dan Munson?
Gorilla Monsoon.
Oh, maybe that was a 2-0, isn't he?
You think?
He's a Monson.
Gorilla Monsoon was the.
It is Dan Munson. It's Dan Munson. That is
Gorilla
correct.
Monsoon was the great
Commentator
for WWF.
Yes. And bless his purple and blue glasses.
Oh, I love that man.
But no, Dan Munson takes Gonzaga, which is another team I want to talk about. We can segue into that. 14 Sweet 16 since 1999. Second current active streak, most in the nation. That's how many. And this year, they had talked about earlier in the year that even Gonzaga had some issues that they might not even be in the championship or be an at-large just simply because of the playing in the West Coast Conference. I thought but I think that what they done in winning to get to the Sweet 16, the routes that they had.
Who?
Gonzaga. I mean, that was my other surprise.
They're playing way too well.
NC State, they barely beat Oakland. It was overtime. Excuse me. Of course, Oakland with, they got the shooting. That upset. Who did they beat? Remind me, Sean. Kentucky, that's right. They were shooting.
That square-headed fella.
They were shooting lights out. They were shooting lights out. So
they tried it against UNC, and UNC had to take them to overtime to win. Or NC State.
There we go. Yes, NC State. But took them to overtime. So they're still, and probably this is going to be their best week because they need a break. They need a rest. I guarantee you. Yeah. They're going to rest up.
Yeah, the big guy is.
But no, I thought Gonzaga. I thought the wins. Obviously, McNeese was a kind of a Cinderella. Will Wade was the coach there, former LSU coach, got in some problems, turned McNeese State around. I think they had lost 22 or 23 games last year. They won 26 or something like that this year. No, they were 30. I'm sorry, they were 30-3 this year. My apologies, but Gonzaga really killed them, and then they took a Kansas team that obviously their best player was out. As far as hurt, and they have and they beat them handily yesterday. So
what does Carlos Boozer have a 99% pick?
That's pretty dead good. I'd be afraid to see what mine is.
Oh, it's definitely not 99%.
No, I looked at my CBS one. I'm at 65%.
Oh, you did one for them?
Yeah,
too?
I did. I didn't do ESPN. I don't think. Did one for us, and then I did one for. But anyway, and my third surprise was Kansas, and I thought Bill Self had a press conference after the game.
That was not a surprise for me.
No, it wasn't. It was a surprise how bad they lost.
It was a surprise how
and it was
pitiful they looked playing
all year long.
They did not want to be there.
Well, and I think it was all year long. They were very. Of course, he talked about it at his press conference, and there was no issue to that. He was asked what his feelings and stuff, but he kind of said he was looking to next year. He had some scholarship players that there wasn't a whole bunch. He said I think there was 8 that was healthy in the rotation or something like that, but said he'd been looking to next year. And I thought just odd to say that coming off a loss because it could be inferred or not even inferred when you stretch the truth or whatever and make it out that like he wasn't giving a shit about this team, which is not the case. Bill Self won national championship 2 years ago. It was what's his nuts.
It was God. I can't think of words. Sorry, my head is a jumble.
Bill Self?
No, It was Nick Saban when Nick Saban was not playing in the title game. Remember Nick Saban when Alabama wasn't playing in the title game was like, oh yeah, well we were already looking ahead for next year. We were already over here. They act like they didn't care because they lost.
Just thought it was odd.
Like the year that OU beat them in the Sugar Bowl, because it didn't matter for anything.
Oh, that was the rumor, yeah.
But it happened numerous times after that. Yeah. And before that, he acted like he didn't really care. So
correct. All right, so right now, Sweet 16, we're down. We've got Illinois, Iowa State, North Carolina, Alabama still playing. Clemson just beat Baylor. Horrible loss by the Big. Oh, did you find the stats on the conference stats for the tournament? Their record.
I know. That's what I was looking for.
Alabama's currently with Grand Canyon. Alabama's got a lead. Clemson beat Baylor. Baylor, their loss was horrible simply because of free throws. They actually was losing the whole game.
Because we had them going.
and because we had them on our bracket. But no, they could have. And congratulations to Clemson. I mean, everybody had Richard Pitino's. I mean, not everybody, but a majority of these that New Mexico was the dandy darling. And Clemson beat them
James
easily.
Madison was the darling too.
Clemson beat them, and then Clemson, for the most part, led, I'd say, 37, 38 minutes of the Baylor game and dominated till the end. That Baylor could have tied it with free throws, but the freshman missed it. Arizona also looks good. And then on the other side, Houston, Texas A&M's getting ready to play. Duke beat James Madison, another darling that did beat Wisconsin. And boy, James Madison played really fast, good. It was a fun game to watch. But Duke just came out today. Duke looked the best they've looked all year, I thought, was that tournament game. They look like they're in the business to win. Yeah, they do. Also, NC State, like we talked about earlier, beat Oakland in overtime. Marquette took care of Colorado, only won by 4. Colorado very easily could have won that game. Purdue killed Utah State.
Where's this weird Purdue team?
Gonzaga. Yes, is that? Are they for real? Are you feeling it? You know, last year they went out I think it was first round, wasn't it, or second round? Gonzaga, like I mentioned, beat Kansas. Creighton, Oregon. That was one of that. Besides the NC State game, Creighton and Oregon was one of the best games of the whole tournament. I watched that last night and went into. Was that double overtime? Which was that double overtime? It was. Creighton and Oregon State.
Yeah, Creighton, Oregon State was double overtime.
I told Daxton, I was watching with my son, I said, generally when you get into these multiple...
The son that he loves.
Yeah, when you get into these multiple overtimes, these basketball teams, generally one will come out hot, and it was 15-1, I think, is what Creighton's outscored second overtime. Oregon just never had a chance. It was just one of those things.
Yeah, Oregon...
It happens that way. Those second or third overtimes, it just becomes a snowball.
Oregon had that game the whole game, and... The Creighton kids just would not go away, and I don't know if you noticed that center. I know they played like 3 forwards, but the guy Dante, I think is what his name was.
Big guy. Yes, very good.
Played
player.
like an asshole.
He
played like an asshole. Right at the end.
He missed that front 1-and-1 too.
He missed a couple things. Yeah. He was getting cocky. He was doing like little shimmies at him.
Yeah, I think
towards the end, and then all of a sudden,
missing that front.
Here comes the first overtime, and you can just see the look on his face, and he's getting pissed, he's getting angrier, and then the second overtime, and then by the end of that, it was over.
Well, and I thought the overtime, the third one, obviously, or the second one was just a runaway by Creighton, just because Oregon couldn't miss anything. But I thought them earlier in regulation in Texas. When we talk about Texas and Tennessee, which Rick Barnes, congratulations him beating his old team. I know that meant something, but Texas missed a lot of shots at the end. That very well. I mean, it was bad. It was bad.
I don't know what the stats are for that game, but I was watching that game. Their shooting percentage had to be low because they were just shooting and running down, shooting and running down, shooting, run down, shoot, run down. Like they weren't even trying. They would just shoot and run away. Here, I can get that faster. Your conference, the record right now is ACC is 6-1. The Atlantic 10 are 2-2. The American are 0-2.
Which are out.
Yeah. Big 12 is 6-5.
Currently, we still got Houston to play.
Yeah, current. Big East is 4-0. Big 10 is 5-3. Mountain West is 3-4. Pac-12 6-2, SEC 4-5, and the West Coast 2-1. And every year,
which that's two Gonzaga, 1 St. Mary's.
And I always put
St. Mary's is this.
And I always put too many Big 12 teams going, knowing every year that it doesn't matter. There's going to be a win and a loss,
Well, and I have them going. To the championship, Houston and Iowa State.
See, that big guy definitely needs a break.
No, so talking about, I thought one of the more entertaining Texas and Tennessee. That was just a fun game to watch. But you're right, Sean. 36% field goal percentage
for both teams,
and 33 for Tennessee.
Yeah, I told you it was horrible. Yeah, they were just throwing the damn ball. Like I don't know what you were doing. I think you came in late on the game. Did you?
I did. Yeah.
And I'm just sitting
second half for me.
I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm like, what are these assholes doing? Nobody cared. It was just throw the ball up and see if it lands. Throw the ball up, see if it lands. And you're looking at shots and makes, and it's bad.
Yeah.
It was like watching the NBA. That's how much it bored me. But there's. I don't know if there's really a surprise. NC State, like we talked about, NC State's the highest seed left.
Correct.
At number 11.
As long as who was...
Well, Grand Canyon has to beat Alabama,
yeah,
and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's it.
Because Northwestern's a 9, and Yale...
Well,
Yale's a 13.
Yeah, and they play San Diego State, which is going to be an interesting game because
San Diego State went to the title last year.
They did, but not the same team this year as they were last year.
It's definitely not the same team.
I think Yale could potentially beat them. And most of them actually, I was watching one of the shows this morning that the majority of them picked Yale to beat San Diego State in that, just because how they run and
go ahead
and shoot.
So
all right, any other thoughts on that? I mean, you talk about matchups. Let's talk a little bit about matchups right now coming into the Sweet 16. I mean, the one that really stands out to me is Illinois and Iowa State. That's huge. That's second, 2 seed.
That's
going to
be defensive, and that is a tale of two teams of opposites. Because Illinois is a heavy defense. And
so is Iowa State. They're top 5 ranked in defense.
Iowa State's State's heavy defense. Illinois is a scoring.
Yes.
Now, if you look at what Illinois won 85-69 and they won 89-63, whereas Iowa State, they took out South Dakota State 82-65, but they beat Washington State, and I didn't think they were going to win that game. It's 67-56.
Washington State actually kept that game close. Iowa State
and I'm trying to remember who their coach is.
Kind of peeled out later for that, but who's
Washington State coach?
Kyle Smith, I think.
Yeah, I was trying to remember who.
Looks like he's going to get some looks, and I don't know.
He's not going to beat Washington.
I don't think you do that.
He's not going to beat Washington State.
No, but I mean, I don't. The big jobs remaining right now are Washington. I don't think you make that move. You could.
I don't know if he goes across.
But you got Oklahoma State left. You got Louisville left. I don't know where Kyle is actually from. Speaking of, we'll talk a little bit about coaches later.
And Colorado's immaculate run into, winning the play-in game and then beating Florida, who Florida was on a tear. And then they go in, and they damn near beat Marquette.
And very easily could have. Yes, very easily could have.
I was like, what in the hell's going on with this Colorado team? Like, they gave it to them.
So Kyle Smith, he's an older guy. He's 54. He'll be 55 this year.
Trust me. A lot of these basketball coaches are in their 70s.
No, I agree. But I'm looking at his head coach. I was bringing that up because you brought the Washington State. He's been at San Diego, Air Force, St. Mary's, all assistant, coached at Columbia, which is kind of a weird one there. But then went to San Francisco, University of San Francisco, and Washington State. I don't really see him venturing much out of the Is Stanford a better job than Washington State?
He's going to have to. Something's up with that because Stanford players are all transferring out.
Well, they fired their coach. That's
but they're playing.
But I mean, is that a better? That's not a better job.
So, the players didn't even wait.
Yeah.
To see who was coming in, they just all said, "I'm out." And I was looking to see if any OU players had entered the portal, and up until. Yeah.
No one yet.
Oh, come on. Up until it was the first 2 days. It was the first 2 days that it was open that I looked at it, and we had nobody. And I'm like, well, there must be something there.
Well, let's finish.
There must be something with Porter Moser staying.
Let's finish. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that because I want to talk
some vengeance.
Other Sweet 16 matchups.
I can't breathe.
Marquette and NC State will be interesting simply because NC State's going to have some rest. Marquette looks like a good, tough enough team to do that.
They're going to have to slow. They're going to have to slow Marquette down.
Now, Houston, Texas A&M is tonight. Either team that wins that game, because there is some people that think Texas A&M could beat Houston, and they're beatable. I'm
well aware of that, and that'll kill a lot of you people in the brackets.
But they're going to play Duke, so that's going to be also a great matchup. Purdue and Gonzaga. I honestly think the Gonzaga run ends there just because of the inside presence of Purdue. And Purdue's better than they have been in the previous years because they've got a lot better guard play in the outside.
Oh, I know, but they suck during the year. They would get number one and then they would blow it.
But Creighton and Tennessee also will be a fun game to watch. I think you're going to see some.
How many times did Purdue get number one and then blow it?
If Tennessee can score, great. Oh yeah, but I mean they're
Tennessee's going to go in throwing.
Yeah,
they're gonna play the same matchup they played with Texas. Just go in throwing, don't even care. And those Creighton's got a better defense. Who's that coach at Creighton?
Doug McDermott signed an extension too. There was a lot of talk he was going to be leaving.
I liked watching him coach last night.
Yeah, he did. No, he did a really good job. I mean, that was a hell of a game.
He was coaching his ass off.
And they should have, in that first overtime, they had a good shot to end that game.
I'm aware.
And most players, you can look at their faces and they thought they had that too. But no, there is no other better time. I mean, this is the primo playoff in sports, period. Nothing tops that. Nothing gets close.
Well, we don't know yet. We haven't had the 12-team college football yet.
And you think that could rival this? Because I like it because of...
For the short time that they're going to have to do it. Yeah.
Well, no, because you're only going to have 12, and then, they're talking about 14 teams later. But you're
look
talking about 68 teams.
Basketball just runs through in 2 weeks. Football is going to have to try to do something like that by the 1st of January because they're going to be done because the NFL takes over all that. You're getting into NFL's viewership and timetables because remember they start doing games after the 1st on Saturdays and Wednesdays and whatever the hell
after the 1st of the year.
They do random
the playoffs,
yeah they do. Yeah. So
I don't know. I think that basketball's tough to compete because you've got essentially 4 days of cram. I mean, people watching. I mean, they do need to schedule this shit a little bit better. I think.
Didn't it used to be scheduled? The conference tournaments were done at the beginning of March. Isn't that what it was? The conference tournaments were done at the beginning of March or the first week in March, and then everything else was.
Well, I mean, they're going to finish up in
fucking baseball starts
April. They're going to actually, Sean. I think their last day of basketball, besides the championship, is March 31st, Easter.
So
that's why they call it March Madness.
I know, but
used to be a little earlier. Yes, they moved.
But
back.
Didn't the tournament the championship used to be the last day?
And then of course NFL moved back, so they kind of
moved. I still never understood why the NFL moved back.
The Super Bowl used to be at the end of January.
It used to be the last day in January, the last weekend
generally. Yes.
And somebody made an asinine comment saying they needed more time, so they gave them an extra week. But I remember the March Madness ending in March. Like it started at the beginning and ended.
It almost will, except the championship. There'll be one game in April on my birthday.
But that's what I'm saying.
My birthday it's April 8th. That must be on a Monday, because that's generally when they have.
Well, baseball starts on the 30th.
Technically, this year?
Yeah.
Oh well.
Even though they counted 2 games in Seoul between the Dodgers and the Padres for some stupid ass reason. Yeah, your birthday's on Monday.
Monday. That'd be the championship then. Okay, so that's championship that day. So they'll end on Easter then. Next Sunday should be the last game. Saturday.
Yeah, it's going to be every Sunday. Should be the last.
So, all right, Sean, break it down a little bit. Let's say Houston A&M versus Duke. Do you think are you still
the way Duke's been playing, Houston?
Think they could slide into the Elite Eight?
I need to watch Houston in this game
tonight.
Yeah. To tell you whether or not they will, because this is going to be really tough, and you're going to have to see who comes out healthy. Playtime. Oh, there's already 6-7. The game's already started.
Okay. Well, in defense, that's the key for Houston is they're so good defensively, but Texas A&M is going to be big enough to stretch them a little bit as far as on the offensive side. So it's going to be.
You can look at it; it's almost the same team.
Yeah.
They're kind of playing against.
But I wonder why, with the Big 12 being tougher and the SEC being easier, allegedly, they're a 9 seed. Final record 20-14. Some of those scabs will show, as they might say. Eventually in those teams.
But whoever's going against Duke is going to have their hands full.
That's correct. The kid today, did he had an injury?
Filipowski? Did they kick that idiot out?
No. No, I was wondering about the kid that
Filipowski,
today. Let's see, what was his name?
I don't know.
I'm looking.
Johnny, UConn's currently
Jeremy Roach
slaughtering Northwestern, which
Jeremy Roach. See if he, Jeremy's a really good player for. I couldn't remember his first name.
Well, he's a Roach, and so if he's
see if he's
from around here, he's probably faking. No, the Roaches.
No, he went to the wrong. He went to the bench with an injury. See if they've announced anything. That's going to be huge. It was into that JMU game, and went down to the bench with an elbow.
See, I missed the end of that because I was here with you and I was running around.
Said probable to return. Senior guard, 14 points, 3 assists a game.
Is he the floppy-haired kid?
I don't know about floppy. He's got. He's.
What? Move your hand.
It's right there.
Yeah, I think he was the floppy head. That was. Didn't he have a high-scoring game?
He averaged.
Yeah, what did he do this game? Hold on, let me go look.
14 points in the first round.
I'm on Saturday.
So.
What is today?
Today is Sunday.
Today's Sunday.
No, he averages 14 points. I don't think that he had a. Wouldn't have been
no,
that one.
McCain was
that
the
was
kid.
that
McCain
was
the kid
yeah.
that went
Oh,
off
speaking
today.
of McCain, interesting stat.
No, guys.
Yes, I have it.
Boy, I'm sorry I did that to everyone.
Freshman 30 points, 0 turnovers. That hadn't happened in ages. They said.
What? No turnovers from one person?
Well, and 30 points for a freshman. That was insane.
What, since Jordan?
I don't even know. I don't. I'm kind of wondering about ever.
Since Jordan? You hate Jordan. Just admit it. Jordan made you cry. Jordan beat every team that you loved.
I know it.
Jordan ruined a lot of people's.
He was the first He was the first freshman to ever do that since the tournament expanded in '85. So
okay.
I don't know about before.
Okay.
Yes. 8 threes.
Well, no, Jordan would have
but
been
his
in
8 threes are also tied for the
Jordan,
second most by freshmen in an NCAA tournament history, according to Jeff
85,
Borzello.
86?
Are you talking about for UNC?
Yeah.
I don't know. Did they win? They won one with him,
When
right?
he drafted in 88, 89?
I don't know. Don't remember those years of him losing. Most Bulls fans don't either.
I do.
They're all like, if he was so good, but they remember the first 4 or 5 years that he had to have so much help to win.
Oh, wow.
Saying.
Oh, wow.
He didn't have the team of Horace and Scotty and Bill Cartwright.
He got rid of Horace.
And Purdue. Will Purdue. No one can forget Will Purdue.
And Stacey King. Yeah.
And Stacey King.
You forget about Stacey King. Stacey King's got 2 rings, I think.
What's your championship? You said NC State. We'll finish up here. NC State.
Oh, my championship was NC State versus UNC.
Still comfortable with that?
Not with the way Duke's playing. But UNC, yeah.
They look good, don't they?
Yeah, UNC going in.
Houston and Iowa.
UConn looks scary, but UConn's got it easy.
They have, but they won't now. That's the kicker.
They're going to run into
the winner of Illinois and Iowa State.
Yeah, that's where they're going to.
See, in my bracket, I have Iowa State having a good enough defense to slow down Connecticut and win.
I have Iowa State playing them, but I have them.
Connecticut winning.
Yeah, I have UConn winning, but I have UNC beating them because they're
on that side. That's right.
Yeah, they're going to have a harder time because if you look, UNC is going to have to face a Clemson or Arizona, or in either Grand Canyon or Alabama, because that game's close right now.
I don't think that's going to matter. I think North Carolina beats the winner of that game regardless. What I'm
saying is, even to get to the Final Four, they have an easier route. Purdue, on the other side, does not have an easy route. They're going to have to go against the Creighton, Tennessee winner. They're going to have to go.
Got to beat Gonzaga first.
They're going to have to get through Gonzaga. I mean, this is.
And Gonzaga's kind of playing that. This is a different role for them. They're not that 1 to 3 seed.
I didn't look at this as being the hardest one to get through. But
I still don't know if it is.
It's the second hard. To me, it'd be the second hardest. The Houston Duke is the hardest.
As it's playing out right now for Houston, yes.
This is now going to be the second hardest.
But hey, listen, you're going to play NC State or Marquette, the winner of that. I think that lightens up. I'd rather play them, either one of those teams versus Duke right now for Houston. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's a breather to play Marquette or NC State, but To me, I think if you get past Duke, it could be better.
But,
and that's if they beat A&M tonight. I mean, that's no gimme right there.
But
we
even
saw
look at
them
that.
lose to almost 30 points in the championship, Big 12 championship.
But look
Iowa
at
State.
this: the Sweet 16 is 4 days away.
Essentially, starting Thursday.
And then you've got 2 days to get to the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
And then the Final Four is April
I think that's
6th.
what makes the playoffs of basketball. That's why I think it's so great. Is you get it all in about 2 weeks, essentially.
You get it all in. Remember, that's what he does for his wife, too.
And well, I guess
he gets it all in about 2 weeks.
Well, I guess that'd be 3 weeks because then you're going to get the Final Four week. But still, I mean, I think that's what makes it most exciting because you're going to talk about the football, which is a different sport, obviously, but you're going to stretch this out for weeks at a time, and not as many. Because you might have one or two games a night.
You remember watching that NC State UNC tournament game, right? Mm-hmm. The big guy right there, DJ Burns. Mm-hmm. He did not look like he was.
You talking about the game? Are you talking about the game that they played just against Oakland?
Yes.
Oh, looked wore out. Looked very tired.
Oh my God, that big man. And they're like, he's the leading scorer, and I'm like,
no, I don't think he was that night, was he?
No, he's the leading scorer on the team, and I'm like, this guy looks like he needs a wheelchair right now.
I think he was a little tired. Yeah. Well, I mean, you're talking double over. Was it double? Was they the double? They weren't. That was just one overtime. Yeah, they were single. It was. I keep forgetting because I watched 2 in a row overtime games.
But that Texas Tech game didn't do them any favors, even though they went 80-67.
That was a disappointing showing. And honestly,
Texas Tech?
Yeah, and honestly, I think the Big 12's made a disappointing showing.
The Big 12's disappointing.
If Houston doesn't roll to the Final Four and Iowa State at least beat. I mean, Iowa State was in talks of being a 1 seed towards the end. If they don't beat Illinois, I think it's a little bit. It's going to be a disappointing year. Now, could I see them losing to UConn? Yes. I don't think that's a bad loss, obviously, for Iowa State. But I think Illinois, you should beat them. Former OSU coach
Bradley Cooper.
Brad Montgomery. I think it's, what is his name? Brad. It's Brad something.
Oh, and I have to say, I was wrong. It was Jason Keep that I hate. I don't like Doug Gottlieb either, but I hate Jason Keep.
Who is Jason Keep?
Remember, he was the bald guy that played for Sutton in '97.
Brad Underwood is their coach. I knew it. It knew it'd come to me. Okay, well, let's
Bradley Cooper.
Do you got anything else about the tournament? Because we can move on. I could segue into OSU basketball right now.
I don't care about OSU basketball.
Well, I'm kind of interested. They still don't have a coach.
Cool. Their players how many players they have left? I think I saw that they had one.
The one player looks good. I'd like to have him transfer actually to OU. Don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, no, I saw that they had 1 to 2 enter the portal.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah.
So coach, do you think because they've waited so long, is there a coach right now that?
They're probably going to wait till the tournament's over.
Rumor has it
the
Danny Sprinkle is a
Sprinkle
candidate
from
Utah State.
Oh, why?
I don't know. I'm going to look up. I was going to do this before, and I really forgot because I want to see.
Can you get?
I want to see where he's from.
Danny Sprinkle.
Yeah. Because do you hire? See.
Sounds like he's in
Cal State, Montana State, Cal State Northridge, Cal State Fullerton, Montana State, Utah State. Why would OSU hire a guy from the? I mean, that guy fits more at Washington as the head coach. But why would OSU do that? I mean, that's been a rumor. And granted, I mean, he's won about everywhere he's went. Montana State, 27-8.
Hell, Munson's still available if he wants to come back and coach.
Yeah, but he stayed in that region too. I mean, there is a thing to say about coaches staying in the region,
basketball,
especially because OSU doesn't have the NIL capability in basketball. That
I don't know why they wouldn't. Honestly, I don't know why they wouldn't have the NIL capability because that is where they.
Well, I mean, I don't even think
that's where like a lot of their titles have come from.
I don't even think OU has the NIL capability in basketball as they should be.
No. I'm not. Right now. Women's basketball, they do.
No, we just have a badass coach at women's basketball.
They have a badass coach.
We do. Speaking of them,
let's move to the ladies.
But still, I think Doug Gottlieb, give him a shot.
Gottlieb.
Hire that guy.
All right. I have to apologize to the women. I've not been paying attention.
Speaking of that, real quick, Sean, I want to talk about a little bit. Dusty May got hired at Michigan, 5-year contract.
My sister?
Is that her last name now?
Dusty K.
Oh, May. Florida Atlantic coach, Final Four last year. He's going to be the new Michigan coach. And then,
oh yeah,
and then Drake's coach Darian. What is his name? Why did I knew I was going to.
Who?
Whatever.
Who?
DeVries. Sorry, Darian DeVries from Drake. His coach got hired by the Mountaineers. So obviously they Chad Weberg, which is
poor Bob Huggins.
They claimed also that he was a shot at the OSU.
State?
But yeah, I wanted to pull up something I read a little bit.
Would you pull Bob Huggins in?
Well, okay, so possible. I would. Now, and I'm not being facetious when I say this.
Fix the program?
Eddie Sutton was, I think, the greatest. I think Eddie Sutton, you could probably put him. No, but I really think Eddie Sutton, if you really put every coach just for X's and O's all time, you could potentially slide Eddie Sutton into the top 10 all time.
Yeah, oh yeah, Eddie Sutton is definitely
all time.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about Rupp. You're talking about the cheater from UCLA that wouldn't. I mean, that's bullshit. I mean, that was that was Neil before Neil was Neil.
What's his nuts at Syracuse, Boeheim?
Yeah, he was good. But so anyway, I was pulling up. I wanted to. Nobody has really talked about this coaching search. Really, OSU's kind of been on the deal. So anyway, this is according to OSU or CBS Sports. Didn't catch the writer. Says this job is falling lower in the pecking order, though I've been told Weiberg has been able to be aggressive in offers to a few candidates. I've heard everyone from Kyle Smith to Buzz Williams. I don't know why Buzz Williams would take it. From Texas A&M to Mark Byington to Ronald Norred.
Because it's a better job than A&M.
I don't think so. To Ronald Norred.
Basketball-wise.
To Amir Abdul-Rahim and many more, including DeVries, who just got spoken for. Said one source familiar with the process, the search has been a mess.
Oh, I forgot Oklahoma has to... Oh, just them. Well, I don't even know who's running that school right now. It sounds like it sounds like they're just in a mess in the school itself.
I think that Chad Weiberg's actually running this search, which is what it needs to be done. I mean, you don't need. So Ronald Norred, he's a basketball coach. Currently, what is his connection? He's an assistant for the Atlanta Hawks right now. From Alabama, College Butler. These are names that have been popped up in the search. Hold on.
He jumped away from me.
What was you wanting to look at?
I was going to look at what all he was doing. Current women's update. South Carolina has continued to dominate. The Lady Gamecocks took out North Carolina 88-41. Was that today? Or was that? Yeah, it was today, wasn't it? Is that yesterday? Is that today?
What?
I don't know what they're... I'm looking at the women's scores.
Oh, gotcha.
OU plays at 5:30 tonight. No, tomorrow. 5:30 tomorrow.
Plays against Indiana.
And then whoever the winner of that game goes against South Carolina to see.
Oh, God, yeah. That's right. We're in their bracket, aren't we?
Yeah. So, and South Carolina is heavily favored to win.
OU beat Florida Gulf Coast 73-70. They actually were losing most of the game, 12 seed. But one has to remember that they were actually part of the 22-game winning streak. And they lost to some big programs earlier in the year, and then they just rolled through their conference and their conference tournament to get it. So I thought it was a good win for OU. OU's not ready to be with the South Carolinas, the LSUs yet. But we're
going there next year.
What Jenny has done right now is quite impressive as far as building that team, and I think she's a hell of a coach. She needs to be paid a little bit. Talking about TU women's basketball, they're in the women's essentially NIT. 73-61.
How did they get in the NIT?
They did not win their tournament, and they missed out on an at-large, but they're really good. I think they're 20. I know they've only had 9 losses on the year.
So
80-62 beat Arkansas first round, and then beat Georgetown today.
So this is the first time, and I don't understand why. This is the first time that the women have an NIT.
Is that really true?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, this is
that's not the first time. It's the first time they've called it something different. It's called the Women's Basketball Invitational Tournament.
Yeah.
They've had the NIT before because I was researching Tulsa basketball. This is the first time in history that Tulsa women basketball has won 2 postseason games. They've won in the tournament in 2006, and they've won a couple in the women's NIT. Just one. It's the first year they've ever won 2.
So they changed the NIT to the Invitational?
Yeah, it's like a WBIT. I noticed that.
Did you see that there's also, I forgot about the college basketball invitational.
And sorry, is that going on?
Yes.
Oh, I haven't even paid to the NIT, to be honest.
I haven't either.
Because all the big
You've
boys...
got the NIT, you've got the CIB.
No, CBI. CBI's not going on still, is it?
It is.
Pull that bracket up. Let's see who's in it.
Did you not
Did
see
we ever
it?
heard of them?
Yeah, and I was wondering why Tulsa didn't get in that one. Let's see.
Are you really sure that went on this year?
Uh-huh.
Are you dreaming?
Nope. See, right here. Oh, there's 3. You've got the CIT, the CBI, and the NIT.
Okay, let's pull up the NIT real quick.
All right, here's
because
NIT.
I know that anybody that's going to listen to this has not paid much attention to that.
Iowa, Utah.
They're playing right now?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
They're going on right now.
They're competing against.
They are.
Obviously, Indiana State. They're probably a favorite to win it.
Yeah, because they got left out just like OU.
Mm-hmm.
This is NIT's the second place.
What, they take 8?
Loser.
Okay.
No, they took others. They took others. This
Okay.
is like day something.
Yeah.
I can't tell you.
Gotcha.
They started somewhere. Shit, Thursday.
So that was South. Now South Florida had a pretty good run actually.
Well, here, let's go. So Tuesday, is that when they would have started?
And that's Amir Abdur-Rahim. That's actually, he's been mentioned for the
Yeah,
OSU
see,
job,
we're
South
looking
Florida's
at-
coach.
Yeah. So, like I said, they've been going.
Okay.
All right, now
Let's
we
get that,
have
yeah.
we have the college basketball invitation.
Okay. Yeah. You sure this exists?
It does. There were scores. See, right there.
okay.
Okay, so Cleveland State, Colorado.
Okay.
I think one of these is Division II. It's got to be.
No,
Division
they're all
II.
Division 1.
Oh, that's right. All basketball is
Yeah.
Division I. Evansville, Quinnipiac, Little Rock, Fair, and then we've got the CIT.
I'm learning as much as you. Oh, Norfolk State. Is that the
Norfolk
championship?
State? No, it's a semifinal.
Oh, no, that's it. Oh, wait, they head to the championship.
See, Tarleton State.
Oh, yeah. You know,
Fort
interesting
Wayne.
fact about Tarleton State, that's where
That's
Billy
Billy
Gillespie,
Gillespie
yeah,
is, yeah.
he's hurt or he's out on medical or something.
So they're playing Wednesday on the 10th.
And that'll be the
that's their
championship.
championship.
No, that's not the championship.
It has
is
to. That's
No, 'cause
the
that other-
only day. There's 2 semifinals.
No, but that other team said headed to the championship, so that wasn't the same
I
team.
don't know. I can't find.
It's to be determined.
I can't find the dates anymore.
Well, I think if you remember, Tulsa at one time did the CBI or
think
something and
so.
won it. I think with Doug Wojcik. And funny, Doug Wojcik is he actually was on. I saw him on the telly because
Telly,
he
huh?
is he's an assistant coach for Michigan State.
So yeah, we have multiple dates. We have multiple.
Because his son plays for North Carolina.
We have multiple things going on right now.
Surprised he hasn't got another job. I thought he did okay at Tulsa, to be honest.
Hey, why don't they hire Thunder Dan?
I don't know what Thunder Dan is doing right now.
I could have swore that he was coaching. You said he wasn't.
He was 178 and 120. No, he coached Grand Canyon. I don't know what he's doing now. He's 9 years at Tulsa. Oh, no, he went to College of Charleston. That's right.
Who?
I forgot. After Doug Wojcik got fired from Tulsa, he went to College of Charleston. That is right.
Oh. All right. So.
And won the inaugural CBA tournament in 2008. Yes.
Ooh, Baylor's having a tough time with Vatech right now. The Lady Bears and the. Are those turkeys? Is that Virginia Tech? Are they Hokies?
The Hokies. Not
Is
the
that a
turkeys.
turkey?
Not the turkeys.
I thought the Hokie was a turkey.
No, well, maybe it is. I don't know. What is a
I
Hokie?
don't know. I thought it was a turkey.
All right. Anything else on basketball?
Yeah, I need to find out what a Hokie is. What is a Hokie? It's a bird. It's a turkey. Told
Okay,
you.
that's right. Yes, kind of looks like a turkey. That's right.
Because, what's his name from CBS? He was a Virginia Tech guy.
Yeah, it's guy with the glasses. Can't think of his name
No,
right
I
off.
think it was-
Yeah, no, the bald guy,
Yeah.
commentator. Yeah, he was a coach.
Yeah. Lady Duke beat.
Just real
Lady
quick
Ohio
though, want to
State.
talk about commentating. You know who I really like is Clark Kellogg. I think he's just a
Clark
natural.
Kellogg's great.
He is probably the best.
Clark Kellogg's great.
I mean,
He's
out of
funny.
any of them.
He's funny.
I mean, he really is. You got to give credit to that guy because you don't see him much throughout the year, but when he comes to that, it's like you listen to him and he's talking facts and not a lot of. I mean, you look at these other sets; they're doing.
Oh, they're doing you.
Yeah.
They're you.
No, they're not.
The
I mean,
hard facts.
no.
Why isn't this
they're
working
doing
for
like,
this team?
No, they're doing like what? Who's this? Kind of like a hokey. Who is this? What do you call it? A mascot. Who's the mascot here? Or fun facts or something. It's like.
That's
the
you.
the
You
CBS
do
guy.
stupid fun facts.
No,
all
the CBS guys come on with true facts, like Kenny Weiss does right here with true facts,
Stupid.
and that's what they want to hear. So,
Going to green.
all right, let's move on. We got a lot more to talk about. Next week we'll have the Final Four already ready to go.
Oh yeah, we'll be
already
through the Elite Eight. And
No, actually we won't
into
because I think
grandmas.
we won't be.
Yeah, we will.
No, because
Really pissing me off.
are you off on that day?
What? What day?
Next Sunday, Easter.
No, I think I work.
Okay, so see that's Saturday. We won't quite have the Final
I think
Four.
they want me off, but I'll be like, shut up. I don't care. I'm gonna work.
All right, moving on. Little local news.
Let's see, because I'm off this Sunday. I work the 31st.
OU softball currently 31-1, 9-0, obviously in conference.
Wife needs to stop slamming doors.
Just swept ranked Baylor. Obviously, they're next up against Wichita.
Softball?
Yeah, and then next up against Wichita State for one game, and then they play Kansas for a series. Also, OU gymnastics scored the record NCAA.
How many perfect tens did they give him this time?
198.95. It's a record for team score for a deal. So yes, that
Adele?
they broke their own record. Is essentially what happened. We talked about TU women's basketball, 73-61 Georgetown, and then they beat. So they're in the Sweet 16, or actually in the third round of the women's basketball invitational tournament.
Oh, and March 30th is the beginning of UFL.
Oh,
Yes.
wait for that!
I am.
Cannot wait for that.
Football. I'll have football all year. I've got football planned out. I need to figure out when Canadian League starts.
Probably around all that time.
Well, like I said, the European League of Football, ELF, starts at the end of June. So it runs all the way through into August, so we can watch that.
There you go.
And you can bitch about, it's just so slow. What are they doing? Kenny Weiss, if you're not a premier player, I don't like you.
All right, moving on to NFL.
Yeah, we're doing.
Let's not forget the San Francisco 49ers will forfeit their 2025 fifth-round pick and have their original 2024 pick moved 4 slots lower because of an administrative payroll error, which is horrible.
Jimmy Garoppolo's not even with the team.
Was it him?
Yeah.
I didn't
Don't you remember that?
I don't know. I didn't see it was him.
Yeah, it was him.
Oh, okay.
And that's why he even came out and he said he was sorry. He goes, I didn't understand what was happening. It was one of his deals. He was the error. He was the clerical error.
Okay, so we know that the Bears are going to take Caleb Williams. I mean, it's obvious. Traded Justin Fields to
stupid dumbasses. Shut up, Craig Sampson.
And so now
I'll give it another year and watch Baker in the Canadian League.
So now what you can do?
Kenny would never watch that.
They're just so jealous.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
because
when's the Texas quarterback ever been a starter in the NFL?
Chris Sims made it one game.
A starter?
Yeah, didn't he start one
Because
game?
someone was hurt.
Yeah, and then he immediately threw like 18 interceptions.
Yeah, now he's got weird hair on TV and talks out his ass.
Yeah,
It's
and he
horrible.
drives drunk everywhere.
He's the worst. I think that's a different guy. But anyway, I think that's
Chris
the worst.
Sims was
I
caught
think
drunk driving numerous times.
I think Chrissy Sims is one of the worst commentators
Chrissy.
in NFL. All right,
He's
all right. Talking
trash.
about right now. Obviously, then you got the Washington Commanders. Now, did read an article that they were looking at possibly trading that pick, even though they don't have a quarterback. I mean, they traded Howe to the
Yeah,
Chargers.
they're definitely
Hal
going to
go.
need a quarterback.
So, but I think they're gonna. I think what they're looking for is they're trying to get a haul like Chicago should have, because they're going to take Williams, and I think there's a lot of desperate teams out for quarterbacks. So, people really right now sitting in the catbird seat is Washington and the Patriots, because neither one of them feel like they have to take a quarterback right now.
Do you think ownership,
even though they both do, you know what I mean?
to let them tank
Who?
for 1 year and then pick up the guys they need the next year?
Which team, though? I mean,
Washington Commanders. Do you think ownership's going to let Dan Quinn do that?
I don't know. No, I don't.
Because Dan Quinn's been stealing. He's been stealing coaches. He's been stealing really good coaches.
No, but what I'm saying is, I think that what they're doing is they're just throwing it out there that, hey, trade me, because they know some teams are desperate. There's some quarterback desperate teams right now that are looking.
You think they're waiting on Quinn Ewers?
No, it's looking at. It looks like the Vikings seem to be desperate. They traded up to get 2 picks in the first round. Yeah. You also look at the Giants. There's been a lot of conjecture about them and Daniel Jones. They're concerned, and I know Daboll doesn't like Daniel Jones. I mean, you could just see it all during the game.
Daboll's done with Jones. We know that.
And also he's injury prone. But then,
then he gave him so he has one good season. He gives him that stupid extension.
But
and then he hates him the next year.
So who's the quarterback for? You look at the Vikings.
Right now, don't they have Tyrod Taylor?
I don't even know. But you look at the Vikings. You look at the
Huntley's
Giants. You look at who's coaching. Who's the quarterback for the Raiders? You look at the Broncos. All those teams right there.
You're very quarterback needy teams. Well, Patriots
but here's the deal. I honestly think the Patriots could just roll with what they've got and try to gain those draft picks. Same way with the Commanders. And you're right. I don't think it's more of a tanking, but I also think it's.
Sorry, I had to make that
I think it's more of. I think they're not one. I mean, you got Shadur Sanders, Travis Hunter next year, Colorado. 2 mega talents coming to be in the draft next year out of Colorado. Those guys.
Oh wait, are you trying to say that he's a really good quarterback?
No, I think Hunter is the steal of that team.
Yeah, Hunter's definitely the steal.
But I'm saying Shadur Sanders is going to be a top-rated quarterback next year to possibly get in that top 10, just because talent alone. And you look at what that team done. They didn't get that bowl eligibility, but that team was trash up until to them. So anyway, I think that there's a lot of options there for those teams, and I think it becomes what we've said before, that the Bears should have been the ones to bring in the haul, and I really think you're looking right now it's going to be Washington or the Patriots. Or even maybe the Cardinals go.
Who's the quarterback of the Titans?
Levis looks to be who it's going to be.
Oh, that's right, Levis. Yeah. So the
Falcons.
Falcons.
Where'd Tannehill go, actually?
He's still open. As far as I know, he hasn't signed with anybody.
What?
Yeah, Tannehill's still out there.
What is Tannehill's first name?
Ryan.
Oh, Ryan. Okay.
Played at Texas A&M back when Texas A&M was still in the Big 12.
Yeah.
Jesus. Use the crystal ball, Kenny.
Well, it says he's still at the Titans.
No, I thought he was cut.
I did too. Where did Ryan Tannehill?
Okay, what else? So Washington needs an overhaul. I know they've been getting rid of guys and bringing guys in. I'm not sure where they're at currently. You got Curtis Samuel, so you do have a good. You got Allegardi. Those are the current free agents. So Jacoby Brissett is still there. Or did they bring him in?
Who are you looking at?
I'm looking at Washington. We're doing Washington right now.
Oh.
So they let Logan Thomas walk.
Okay, so it's either going to be Jaden Daniels or trade. I don't think there's anybody else in that option. And now you've got everyone talking about Neighbors. You're talking about
the Bears might take
Marvin Washington. You got even Brian Thomas, the wide receivers. So you've got them talking about them because a lot of people are putting Neighbors ahead of Harrison, which I think is silly. He's the number one receiver off the board, in my opinion. And that's who.
You know why?
But I mean that's who
because he didn't even have a pro day.
But I know,
Harrison
but that's who the Cardinals I think are coveting. But I honestly think they're going to trade down and try to get one of those other wide receivers if they can get some number ones. Because if you think about it, Sean, did they have 2 number 1 picks this year, the Cardinals? Didn't they get Houston's also, but it's down further?
Yeah, I thought they did.
because they got them.
Arizona's
No, they got 4, but I mean, I think they've got one lower.
Shh. Shut your
For
mouth.
the Will Anderson trade.
Shut your mouth.
Yeah,
27.
there they are, 27.
You let me.
Yes,
You gotta
yes.
let me.
Hey, I
look at
I
this.
just needed the number. I knew
I was trying to find it.
I knew the stat of
Okay?
it. I
Your
just
mouth.
needed the number.
Your
I just needed
mouth.
the number.
Is what caused me to not find it because I had to go look. I was like, okay, here's this one. And where's the other
Well, I
one?
knew 4. Didn't have to talk about 4.
I still had to go look. Got to start at the top in case you missed it. Because sometimes I'll go to the bottom. I'll miss it. You're like, oh, when you go to the top, it's start there.
So did we talk about? So
What? You're all over the place right now.
what about the Chargers? Would
What about
you?
the Chargers?
Do you think there's a possibility they trade Herbert?
Did we talk about this?
We might have.
Did we talk about this personally? Or did we talk about
I don't
this?
know, but I've been thinking about this because I had this dream, and maybe it was a dream or just a thought. Is like you give.
God, was it Craig Sampson?
No, you give Herbert and a first round to get another first round and maybe a later pick, or I don't know. I mean, how
How desperate is
I don't
John
know.
Harbaugh?
No, I mean I think he's not. I think he wants a total revamp of everything.
Well,
That's why he's got rid of the 2 wide receivers. Obviously,
That's what I'm saying.
got rid of
Because
Eckler.
Williams is now. Fuck did Williams go?
Mike.
Yeah, Mike Williams is now a. Did he just sign with?
Jets.
Yeah, Jets. Yeah.
Of course, Keenan Allen went to the Bears.
Allen went to the Bears.
So they got rid of their
Eckler
2
went
top,
to-
their number 3 and number 4 cap hit. Let's see who that was. Restructured Bosa, and I don't know about Matt.
Yeah, they restructured both of them.
Both of them, yeah.
Austin Eckler's right here. He's now with Washington.
Yes, yes.
Jacoby Brissett went to New England. Bobby Wagner came from Seattle over.
To Washington.
Reed
They've got
stayed.
Mariota. That's right.
Mariota's
Mariota.
a backup.
Boy, $6 million for Mariota. But these
Too
backup
much.
quarterbacks are making a lot more money than
Too
they've
much.
ever had in the NFL.
It's too much for trash.
Like Sam Darnold got signed for 1 year, $10 million at the Vikings. Now he potentially could be the starter. Do the Vikings, because everyone they say is in love with J.J. McCartney. That's their team. That's where the smoke's been, and they've wanted to trade up to get him. But it seems to be a bidding war between them and the Giants. But does San Diego play a role in that? Do they make a move? And then what's the Raiders do?
What would New York give to Chicago so they could get their boy?
Who's their boy?
New York?
Yeah.
So they could get McCartney? Didn't you just say that they were in love with McCartney?
JJ, yeah.
Yeah.
No. I think what happens is
What would New York give up?
no. I think New York needs to stay. McCartney will fall to them. Who above? All they're worried about is the Vikings going above them.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what would the Vikings give up to get?
Oh no one's trading with the Bears. That's signed, sealed, and delivered.
You don't think they would?
No, you guys have already made your choice there.
No, we haven't.
You've got your guy.
Caleb Williams is human garbage.
You've got your guy, baby.
God,
Generational.
You're gonna get a whole fucking staff fired because you picked
Generational.
You pick stupid. You're like, well, I had the FMO. I could not let everybody take trash that I knew was trash with every fucking red flag that's going on.
No, but
I needed that stupidity.
But I think the two teams.
I gotta pay dumbass.
I think the 2 teams that have been smart though is the Reds or the
Red
Commanders.
Sox?
I was going to say the Redskins is the Commanders and the Cardinals,
Reds.
and maybe even the Chargers. The Chargers could look at trading down because you know who they need a wide
Take
receiver.
Justin Herbert and
No. I think they're gonna Nduze.
some dickhead already said to do
their wide receiver.
Some dickhead already said to do what Eli Manning did to go to the Bears. I forgot who it was.
No, that's not what they're gonna do. That's what.
No, they said to do what Eli Manning did for Caleb Williams.
No, that's not going to happen. That's going to happen for if you read there was a podcast that reportedly that Deion Sanders come out and said that Hunter and Shador, there's certain teams they're not going to, and he said we will pull an Eli if that happens.
No, this was about Caleb Williams. One of the
No.
somebody. Came
I'm
out
sure,
and
but it's
said
not going to happen.
for him to do.
Oh
that.
yeah, I read that, but it's not going to happen.
Why? Daddy wants that money.
No, it's not going to happen. Well, they're going to get the money, and it's a big market team, and there's no other in Chicago. There's nobody good in Chicago sports wise right now.
Shut your.
He will be the
shut
face
your
of
mouth.
Chicago sports.
The Bulls are.
You'll be wearing them on your shirt eventually.
No, I won't.
When it says
Never.
Super Bowl almost.
Only missed it by 31 games. Thanks, Caleb Williams. Why don't you scramble again?
No, but I think that's what Washington and maybe even the Cardinals and potentially the Chargers are throwing out, that they're willing to look at these trades. It's all they're just grandstanding.
Somebody else just take this
no,
piece
they're
of
all
human
grandstanding
garbage.
right now because they know that the Vikings, the Raiders, the Giants are all quarterback
How are we not
hungry.
talking about what we're supposed to do? We're supposed to be talking about the NFL East. NFC East. You're talking all over
today?
That is today.
Oh,
Is the
okay.
NFC East. That's why I have Washington pulled up. That's why I started talking about Washington before you went on fucking whatever
Well, I was
tirade
talking. No, I was talking about the
shoving
draft.
thumbs up your-
No, I was talking about the draft
Well,
because
okay,
I think that's important
Washington
to them.
is up there, and so what else do they need? They need
Everything.
They've got to fix. They've got to fix a lot. I mean,
They don't need wide receivers.
But Dan Quinn came
They
in.
don't need running
But
backs.
Dan Quinn came in and stole a bunch of really good.
They're going to draft.
A bunch of really good coordinators.
They're going to draft. They're going to draft a lot of.
They're going to draft a quarterback first.
I don't think. Okay, if they stay at 2, yes, I think
Stay
Jaden
at 2,
Daniels is
yeah.
it, hands down.
Unless the Bears take Jaden Daniels.
No,
Just take Jaden Daniels.
because I think that's maybe. I think that's kind of what they're trying to
Why don't you
get
take
is
that
people
terrible
to talk.
Milton guy?
But I mean, essentially, if you know as a team, and they're kind of the same way, if there's a team that's got somebody rated higher on their board than Caleb Williams, another quarterback, then you should get essentially the same draft haul as the Bears would have got for looking at that. I don't think you're going to get 3 number ones like the idiot Browns give up for Watson, but I think you could get 2.
Well, the Browns are still giving up too much money for everybody. They're not even upset that they paid Judy that much. They're like, you know what? It's gonna come back and it's gonna pay dividends. And I'm like, nothing you guys have done has paid dividends. Absolutely zero.
And you could see the Chargers move up too to get Marvin Harrison if they if they liked him so much too. So
right, we done. We're gonna move on to the Giants.
no, they're not going to be any good this year.
Did you see that dead cap space for dumbass?
Yeah, but and I joked about that wasn't a bad contract when they signed him because next year he's got his 4th year. They can cut him totally and have zero cost.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That is totally fine.
Yeah.
But they did get Brian Burns. They stole him, and they pulled Singletary to replace Barkley. Hey, Singletary's been healthy.
I thought Burns was a weird high. I thought they paid him a lot of money.
He's one of the best players on that defense. So, yeah, you're just stealing.
He was.
You're
I
taking
agree.
Carolina's, trash.
I agree.
I don't know what Carolina's got left anymore. What do they have left?
They overpaid for some people too. Have we talked about the NFC South?
No, we haven't got there
That's
yet.
going to be a lot of dead cat. I mean, they oversigned. And teams generally, the Bears. That's one thing about the Bears. I know we're getting off subject with this division, but I thought the Bears did really well in that.
We're not. We've never even started on.
No, I mean, but they didn't
this
overpay.
division.
They had one of the most, salary cap friendly. They had the most money to spend. I didn't think they overpaid for anybody. So.
What, the Bears?
Yeah, I didn't think they did. I thought they did really good. And that's the thing. If Caleb Williams actually is their first pick, he's going to come to one of the best teams ever
So the Giants
for a first pick.
Giants lost McKinney to Green Bay. They lost Barkley to Philly. They brought in John Runyon, which was good, but how old is Runyon?
He's 26 up there.
He's,
Doesn't he seem older? Maybe
he
we're
does.
thinking
He
of his
does
dad.
seem. I guess so. They brought Ashawn Robinson. They let Ashawn Robinson go. I think that was part of the Burns deal, wasn't it?
Yes. So Drew Lock came to the Giants.
Yeah, they got Drew Lock from
He left Seattle
They got
because
Tyrod Taylor.
we talked about
No,
Seattle.
Tyrod Taylor left to the
Left.
Jets.
Yes.
That's what it was.
Yes, that's correct.
So Drew Lock is now their backup. Austin Schlotzman.
They did get guard Stinney. I thought that was a cheap deal. We let him go because we had got another guard. It was kind of almost a trade-off. So
Yeah, they got Stoll from Philly.
I still have them last. I have them picked last in the division.
I do too.
I mean, before we even get to this big board next year, I've
This
got
guy's
them
name's
last.
Jihad.
Yeah, I have them last.
I'm gonna name you Jihad.
No, that's last. I mean, because unless they do something quarterback-wise.
Unless they do something anything-wise.
Yeah, and I kind of wonder because, this is kind of maybe the Dayball year that they're going to have to – is he in the hot seat? I don't think he should be, but they underperformed last year pretty bad. So –
Oh, they way underperformed. I think they
Compared to the year
barely
before.
they barely finished above Washington, didn't they?
all right.
And the only
Let's
reason
talk
why-
Oh no, you just go to the Eagles.
Do you want to do it?
Yeah,
you want to do it?
Yeah, do the Eagles. We'll do the Cowboys last.
Okay. I was wondering who to do last. All right, Kenny's second favorite team of all time, the Philadelphia Eagles. If I can find out where they are. There they are.
Now, let's not forget they've got... Well, no, let's not forget they've got Kenny Pickett.
They've got a premier quarterback. They've got a premier backup.
No, they've
got a premier running back.
I guarantee it's the most expensive, shittiest quarterback. It just is. Daniel Jones, who's his backup? Because that could be right there. They might have the worst quarterbacks in the whole league as far as comparable to play versus money.
His backup was, we just saw it.
Yeah, who was it? Oh, Drew Lock. Actually, Drew Lock's probably better.
Yeah.
Probably better than Hurts, too. But anyway. But no, I didn't say that out loud, did I? Oh.
Give me a beer.
Let's see. Now, they got Barkley. Nothing wrong with that. If he stays healthy.
And they pulled outside linebacker.
Offensive
linebacker Huff from Philly, or from the Jets,
yes.
Who was one of the Jets' best players. They got Barkley, but then they let Swift go, and they let Baird go. Then they let Mariota go because that guy hasn't done shit in ever. They brought Hennessy in from Atlanta as their new center. Which, wow, that's a big replacement. That offensive line and that defensive line are going to be
not as good as an offensive line. I'm just saying. Defensive line I didn't have a really problem with, but defense for the Eagles.
Cox retired.
Well, yeah, but defense last year was the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, it was night and day.
Yeah.
You still got Lane Johnson on the offensive line, but I don't know. Hurts took a step back last year as far as performance.
Well, it was like he was throwing one.
But they've got two of the...
they got Will Greer.
Oh, yes, Will Greer from West Virginia. So, but they still have one of the best...
Still a better quarterback than any Texas quarterback. Wasn't he a Texas quarterback at one point?
He might have been, actually. Who knows?
Oh.
But no, I mean, but they still have A.J. Brown. They still have... who's the other one? The two wide receivers. Sean, why am I missing the other one? Devontae Smith.
Yeah,
Devontae Smith. So they still have the two best wide receivers. And when we get down to talk a little bit about the Cowboys, we'll figure that out because that's the thing that I think Dallas is missing. But it's the thing that they have that they don't. But is the quarterback better? I mean, are you taking Dak Prescott or are you taking Jalen Hurts? Now, pay-wise, Florida. But pay-wise, they're about the same, which is ridiculous. But anyway.
Yeah, how are you gonna keep all those premier quarterbacks on your team? You got Will Greer, Kenny Pickett. How do you keep?
You were so wrong about Kenny Pickett. I just won't let you.
How do you keep that much talent?
And even Zach, the Pittsburgh fan, was so wrong about Kenny Pickett.
How do you keep that much talent?
They wasted a first-round pick on that guy. The guy's trash.
Okay,
Mason Rudolph played better.
A lot of teams have wasted first-round picks.
Better than that.
And why did they let him go?
I knew Pickett was not in.
Why did they let him go?
Because he was told he wasn't going to be the starter. So he got pissy. So he's like, let me go.
Let me
go. But
don't let me learn. Let me go.
No, but then they turned around and got Fields right after that.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
On the cheap. And I'm not disagreeing with what, Pittsburgh's done for the
quarterback room is $6 million. Is that what they're paying?
That's cheap as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're real cheap on quarterbacks. I don't know who their third string is.
Doesn't matter.
Why? Because you got Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Two of the premier cream of the crops.
Don't you be hating on Justin Fields.
Your MVP?
If he would be playing this year with the Bears, would be.
I don't know.
DJ Moore, record. Record.
It would be a hell of a
stats.
Especially since they revamped that offensive line. So,
but I do like Barkley. I think that was an upgrade on the running back, no doubt.
Well,
if he stays healthy,
so well.
if he stays healthy, sorry, that's going to be the key. It's healthy, and he did last year. And it's fun, but I think the Giants and kind of like what.
How did you spit sideways?
No, and I think it's a trick. But anyway, and I think that's what the Chargers did with Eckler. I think that's what Barkley done. I think Pollard.
That was the
I think Pollard the same way with Dallas. If you want to move on to Dallas, I still have them. I'm leaning to pick them third place in that division.
Falcons?
Yeah, the
Philly?
Eagles. Yes.
No. They'll be one.
Well,
Dallas is not number one.
I think Dallas will be number one. And I potentially think that Washington could be number two. I really think
losing his job.
No, I think Washington could be number two.
This is where we have it backwards because I'm thinking Dallas might be.
Are they the
number
one that
3.
drops?
Yeah.
And maybe are you talking Washington second?
Yeah.
See, I've got Washington second too, but I've got Dallas ahead.
They haven't done anything to.
No, they haven't. But go down who they lost, and I want to tell you that they lost no one that's important. But go ahead.
Oh yeah, the Jerry Sneed finally went.
He did to the Titans. Odd though too. It's
How did I
like
get a Dak
they're all
Prescott?
defense now. The Titans.
I know. They just went from a defensive guy.
Funny, isn't
But
that?
now we're all
Yeah,
defense.
yes, exactly.
Let's see.
But they got Calvin Ridley, who
So
they wouldn't pay AJ Brown.
Armstrong, the DN. Armstrong left to go to Washington. Bidad Ayez, he left to go to Washington. Pollard, now in Tennessee. Smith, now in Jersey. Fowler, now in Washington. Kendricks, to Dallas. That was a cheap pickup.
Yeah, it's huge. But look at the top 5, and I would argue that no one is a loss in that huge loss at all. Now, don't look at the money, but think about the performance.
I would say
Tyron Smith has been unhealthy. If he stays healthy, that would be great. But he's 10, 11 years in the league. Nah, I don't think so. I think they got rid of a lot of fats, what they got rid of. But they're getting ready to have to pay Parsons and CeeDee Lamb. That's exactly.
That was what happened to
Yes,
Pollard.
yes.
Pollard.
But he didn't do shit.
He did
Think
better,
about that.
but he did
No,
fine.
he was worse. They need a. Now, are they?
Gallimore went to Miami.
Yeah, but he was a backup, dude. That's
know,
OU
but
Neville.
still,
I mean, he was just a rotation guy.
That was OU Neville.
It's OU Neville,
It's OU Neville.
not Neville with the weird thing on his eyebrow though. It's Neville Gallimore.
Tiny.
Not.
He did. Aaron Neville did. He did. He did Little People. We're little people holding hands.
Did he?
Yes, he did the Little
I
People
don't
theme
think that
song.
was the. Oh, okay, that's a possibility.
That's Aaron Neville.
Yes.
Yeah, he had the high pitched voice.
I like the "Don't Take Away My Heaven" myself.
Well, who's
Everybody
his brother?
plays the
Who's his
fool.
brother?
Not Neville Gallimore, but anyway.
Oh, they brought back your favorite Rico Dowdle.
Not bad. I don't think that's a. I mean, look at it's cheap.
You still need a running
Cheap.
back.
They do. And I
Still
wonder if
need
they're
a
going.
running back.
So they're going to draft somebody, obviously.
I don't know who's out there. Who's?
Oh, there's a. Like I said, running backs dime a
Yeah,
dozen.
but who's out there that's a premier running back?
Dime a dozen.
I mean, your generational talents, Bijan Robinson, that guy's gone to the wind.
Wait till he does badass this year. Falcons are going to be something to deal with. I'm telling you.
It's because everybody in the NFC South sucks.
No, Tampa won it for like the last 4 years.
Because everybody sucks!
And I think we could win it again this year.
Because everybody sucks! The whole division's trash, and you're taking that
Who's
as...
their quarterback now? Atlanta. Why am I missing somebody?
It's
Who'd they
fucking Kirk Cousins.
Oh, yes, Kirky.
Jay Cutler 2.0.
Yes. He's better than Jay Cutler.
No, he is Jay Cutler.
No, he's better.
Jay Cutler 2.0.
All right, so I mean,
Both
but I mean,
heavily
no,
Christian.
no, I know Dallas didn't do.
And
a
I
lot.
haven't got to see Kirk Cousins' butt.
Now hold on. Now, I know you didn't do a lot of Dallas, like pickups because they didn't do much.
This is it.
I know that
this
they
is
just-
their.
yeah. So, what's the? I don't see the problem right now.
They still got
They
Curtis
just-
Gallup.
They
and,
just need some depth.
Vander Esch
And
retired.
I think they're going to draft it. That's the deal.
They're going to have to do something
Yes.
because they have made no moves. You're looking at having 2 starting receivers. I don't know who your number 3 receiver is because you let Gallup go.
They'll have Cooks and CD, which I think Cooks is trash myself.
But is he your number 3? And so you're
No,
going to have to
Cooks
get a
is
number
number
2.
two.
Well, you're going to have to get a number
They'll
2.
draft someone. You watch.
You need a running back. You need offensive line.
You can get a running back from 4 to 7, and offensive line same way.
Okay,
Yeah.
you need offense, and you still need defense. You need to fill those holes in the defense that just left.
I think hiring Zimmer for the defense. I think you're gonna. And
You're
hold
a
on.
big Zimmer fan.
I love
You
Zimmer, and
love-
I honestly.
you just love Zimmer to
No,
be all over you.
No, listen. I honestly think that was. Now Dan Quinn is great coach, but I think what Dallas' weakness is the secondary, And I think that Zimmer, that's his specialty. It's actually going to be an
Dallas
improvement.
had one of the better secondaries.
No. You're thinking of freaking Diggs and all them. It's interception or touchdown is what they give up. They get an interception, give up a No, that is not it.
Interception or touchdown.
I think that's their weakness right now on that. And they got to get some depth, but I think you can do that with the draft and some more free agency because that's not over yet. That's not over yet. Hey, listen, preliminary, I've got Dallas, Washington, Philadelphia, Giants. That's the finish.
Did you say Dallas?
Dallas, Washington.
I'm doing Philly, Washington,
Oh, I know.
Dallas.
I know you are.
Giants, we all like the Giants.
Yeah, Giants still last. Did the Giants finish? Let's see.
They finished number 2. Or they finished
3.
up. Yeah. Barely above Washington.
Oh, shit. You missed that one, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
won those
high
picks
hopes.
last year, just letting you know. Preseason picks. I won that.
Cool.
So, no, I'm just saying.
Cool. I hope everybody heard that.
All right, anything else to close?
It's part of our crystal ball.
Yeah.
It's off my balls. I don't have anything else. I mean, we didn't do. Apparently, we just.
But
didn't
no,
do
but-
the NFC East.
But no, what's funny, though, in the NFC East, I think that's going to be the biggest players in the draft early is going to be Washington and the Giants. You talk about that. I think that's going to be two of the big. I mean, the draft this year, which we'll be doing live for the draft this year on Thursday night, the first round. This is going to be one of the most.
Alabama beat Grand Canyon.
This is going to be one of the most entertaining. 72-61 Alabama moves on. What's the game going on with Houston right now? What's the score?
43. That's halftime.
Okay, halftime.
43-38 halftime.
Houston leading Texas A&M.
And we have UConn
Killing Northwestern. Almost 20.
Almost
18
20
points.
points. Yeah,
Yes.
it was 20.
Yeah. 24 seconds left in that game. So UConn moves on. So
We're
is
gonna
that is Houston the last game of the night?
No.
It's Yale and
San Diego State.
San Diego State. That is the ending. That's getting ready to tip off soon, 9/12. So, all right. Thank you all for joining us for this episode. As we'll talk about, what are we doing? AFC East? No, we already did
We
them.
just did AFC East. We're either north or south.
Let's do AFC North. No, let's do the South.
All right.
AFC South next week. We'll preview the Jaguars, Colts, Titans, and Texans, and what they've done, what they're looking for, and what they're doing in the draft. So, thanks for joining us. We'll also talk about the almost Final Four. We're not going to be quite there to the Final Four. We'll have a good idea about what's leading in to
March
that.
30th,
and
31st. So we're doing Saturday. We got to do Saturday.
Yeah, we're going to do Saturday. So we're not going to be quite to the Final Four, but we'll know most of it.
We'll be close enough
Close,
to knowing
that's- yeah.
the Final Four
Yeah, we'll have a couple games we missed. So.
because we'll be doing it the 30th. Oh, that's right.
Because they play on Sunday.
Poop.
All right, no.
Poopy.
Is Sunday the 30th or 31st?
No, the 31st is Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
And
So
I
we'll be
work-
doing it the
and I gotta work.
30th.
No, I got to work.
All right, thank you all. Appreciate it. Join us next week for this episode, for the next episode of Sports.
for this next
for the
episode.
next. Yeah, all right. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Bye.
Bye.